our cultural performance from the Kusini Cultural Group for a very brief cultural performance. Karibuni sana. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kusini Cultural Group, for that exciting performance. Just to let you know that the performance dance is called Mganda, which is quite famous along the shores of Lake Nyasa in Ruvuma, Mbeya, and Iringa regions. So thank you so much. Your Excellency Manfredo Fanti, Ambassador, European Union Delegation to Tanzania, Honorable Mngereza Maji, Permanent Secretary, Zanzibar Ministry of Energy, Assistant Commissioner for Electricity Development in the Ministry of Energy Tanzania, Engineer Styden Rwebangila, Mr. David Ilcock, CEO, Alliance for Rural Electrification, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, habari asubuhi, good morning. So as I said earlier, this is a very special day today when we will be highlighting issues related to the decentralized renewables in the Tanzanian market. It's quite an honor that we have a very high-level representation of the government, other public sector, together with government agencies in Tanzania, as well as from our Zanzibar government. We have a very good representation of the private sector, the Tanzanian private sector, and I should mention members of the Tanzania Renewable Energy Association, TAREA. But it's quite an honor to have today our participants from outside Tanzania, and in particular, investors and other technology manufacturers who have come to Tanzania to learn about different renewables potentials in our country. So this is also to thank our different sponsors who have made this event possible, which includes the European Union, together with Get Invest, African Development Bank, and a number of other very important supporters and sponsors who have made their event possible. So that also includes our strategic partners, TAREA being the local partner and participated in all the preparations of this very important event. So briefly, the agenda of today. So we will have the welcoming remarks from our distinguished guests, after which we will have a brief, we will have a panel discussion on renewables in Tanzania. Then we will have a coffee break, and afterwards we will have track sessions, one in this room and the other in the Kill Macu room downstairs. So all the sessions will run until 3 p.m. in the afternoon, where afterwards we'll have some closing remarks of the event. So I'm quite honored to welcome Ambassador Manfredo Fanti from the European Union Delegation to Tanzania to give his opening remarks. Karibu, Mr. Ambassador.
Commissioner of the Ministry of Energy of Tanzania, Principal Secretary of Zanzibar, representative from the various agencies which are present in this forum, representative of the private sector, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to everybody. I would say that I am particularly glad to be here in this day devoted to Tanzania for the important discussions that we will have the opportunity to have. But first of all, let me thank the organizers of this 3 days forum, which has been so far extremely successful. So first of all, the Alliance for Rural Electrification and his Chief Executive Officer, and also the Tanzania Renewable Energy Association. And also, I am very happy to see that in this forum there has been a very high participation of the government of Tanzania and of Zanzibar and the various institutions involved in the sector. So we think that these days have been so far quite useful, and we are very keen to hear discussions about Tanzania today. On the first day of this forum, His Excellency General Yusuf Makamba raised certain points on which the European Union could not agree more. First of all, the acceleration of access to electricity for all the population of Tanzania, a productive use of energy for economic development, the use of innovative technologies, a conducive regulatory and policy environment, are all elements around which our support is implemented, with an additional specific attention that the EU gives to the gender inclusion in a so far largely men-led sector. To eradicate poverty, Tanzania recognizes the need for sustainable industrialization to produce economic growth. Limited energy access and unreliable electricity supply is a key obstacle to attain this objective. For instance, nowadays, we see an increasing number of foreign investors interested in enhancing or creating a new business in Tanzania. It is evident that the reliability of energy supplies is a key issue for them. But there is not only the economic dimension. There is also the social one. According to the latest statistics, in Tanzania, around 40% of the population has access to electricity. The Tanzanian authorities attach the highest importance to the development of energy production, both in the mainland and Zanzibar. In Zanzibar, in particular, the government is seeking to install a massive production of renewable energy to ensure more regular supplies and reduce the technical risk of being dependent exclusively on the cable from the mainland. This explains why the energy is one of the main sectors of cooperation between the European Union and Tanzania. At the moment, we have ongoing projects for a total amount of 144 million euros, all under the form of grants. In the first panel of today, the moderator will give a brief overview of the actions currently being implemented with EU financial support that we hope to see contributing to building a more sustainable and resilient to climate change future for Tanzania. Their overall objective is to enhance the sustainable development of Tanzania's energy sector. But their specific objectives are, first of all, to improve the service delivery in terms of availability, affordability, acceptability, and quality, and value for money for the customers and of the national utility TANESCO. The second is to enhance clean energy, conducive business environment, and integrated planning in an energy policy. And the third, to reinforce energy sector knowledge and analysis by stakeholders, including private investors, academia, and civil society organizations. As we speak, the European Union and Tanzania work together in different projects to adopt clean cooking solutions, continue rural electrification, prepare and implement an energy efficiency action plan, support the energy sector reform and in particular the modernization of TANESCO, build electric infrastructure in Kilombero and Ulanga. You have all assisted to many interesting panels and discussions, and certainly have realized how the interest from investors to the renewable energy space is there, and how several platforms and organizations act as a catalyst and offer liaising opportunities among developers, investors, public entities, and private developers. It is our hope that this dialogue is maintained and that the various actors of development in Tanzania are offered regular spaces for transparent and fruitful discussions, like, for example, regular energy sector reviews, where challenges and solutions are publicly and openly debated. The government of Tanzania has shown that the challenges faced by private developers are understood, and that solutions can be found for a conducive regulatory environment. This is key to attract further interest from the global array of funding opportunities. In conclusion, the role of the European Union is to support the government policies and to contribute to creating favorable conditions for the development of public and private investments in the renewable energy sector. Today's agenda is rich and interesting, and I wish you a good work, and I thank you for your attention.
Asante sana. Thank you so much, Mr. Ambassador. And we really appreciate what the European Union is doing in the energy sector in Tanzania. So now it's really my pleasure to welcome Engineer Styden Rwebangila, Assistant Commissioner for Electricity Development in the Ministry of Energy, to give his welcoming remarks. Karibu sana.
Good morning, everyone. I will give the remarks on behalf of our Permanent Secretary, who is attending as equally important activities, and he was not able to make it. So my job today is very easy. I'm just going to be reading his speech. Dr. Mngereza, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Water, Energy and Minerals, Zanzibar, Mr. Manfredo Fanti, Ambassador, European Union Delegation to Tanzania, Energy Development Partners in presence today, TALEA Chairperson, TALEA Executive, representative from private sector, government official, distinguished invited guests, and without forgetting organizers, ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again. It is my great pleasure and privilege to be accorded this opportunity to give my opening remarks on this occasion in the forum which will be deliberating and articulating on issues that are important in promotion of increased energy access in Tanzania. This forum is relevant in complementing government plans, strategy, and other initiatives aimed at increasing the rate of energy access in the country. I commend the organizers for this forum, the Alliance for Rural Electrification and the TALEA, and the financial support from European Union, Get Invest, AFDB, and the other supporters for supporting this forum. We really appreciate the continued support from European Union toward the development of energy sector through various endeavors. We also appreciate the presence of all other stakeholders participating in this forum. Your presence will greatly contribute in attaining the event's objectives. Ladies and gentlemen, the Minister is pleased to note that this event underscores the importance of energy access, which is in line with energy policies and the other government priority agenda aimed at increasing the rate of energy access through commitment by government, private sector, development partner, NGO, and the other partners. These stakeholders are expected to play their part in scaling up access and contribute to the socio-economic development of our country. The Ministry of Energy will continue collaborating with all stakeholders to ensure that every Tanzanian has access to clean and modern energy. Ladies and gentlemen, the electricity connection in the country is less than 50%. By this rate, you can see that many Tanzanians are still lacking better quality of life, which rely on availability of electricity access. While the government, in collaboration with other stakeholders, is doing well in the area of grid extension, off-grid locations are still lagging behind. The option to reach the electrification, prosperity, electrification solution, initiative, and direct restoration. That's an implement, all agree, given the The government will continue improving its policy, strategy, plan, and other regulatory frameworks in ensuring that off-grid electrification solutions are supported by sound guiding instruments. I call upon our stakeholders, including loan partners, to support the government through the development of innovative off-grid solutions that are cost-effective and affordable by most of our people. The government, through REA, has finalized mapping out all areas that will be designated for off-grid. This move will help in guiding stakeholders to support forum recommendations in supporting our initiative toward promotion of off-grid electrification solutions. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, with those few remarks, let me wish you a successful forum and looking forward to continue working with you all. Thank you very much.
Asante sana. Thank you so much, Engineer Rwebangila, for underscoring the government's commitment into supporting the renewable energy sector or the decentralized renewables in the country. And we have heard of the potentials that are available in the country. So I think it's up to us, private sector now, to grab the opportunities which have been mentioned in the speech. So let's proceed, and now it's my pleasure to welcome Permanent Secretary, Minister of Energy, Water and Minerals, Zanzibar, Honorable Mngereza Maji, to give his welcoming remarks. Karibu sana.
Manfredo Fanti, Ambassador of the European Union Delegation to Tanzania, Engineer Styden Rwebangila, Representative of Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Energy, Tanzania, David Leko, the CEO of Alliance for Rural Electrification, Representative of Private Sector, distinguished guests, journalists, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is an honor to have this opportunity for being one of the speakers here on this special occasion on Energy Access Investment Forum 2022, organized by Alliance for Rural Electrification and Tanzania Renewable Energy Association, TAREA. The forum is the top annual business and finance event for renewable electrification sector for enabling and fostering business and investor partnership with the purpose of sustainable electricity access, economic development, decarbonization, as well as climate change adaptation and mitigation. This forum is organized to bring together different participants and stakeholders to have discussion on challenges and associated opportunities in the renewable energy areas. Ladies and gentlemen, transforming a country economy requires a long-term vision, but also pragmatic steps and actions. The ongoing Tanzania flagship program on rural electrification aims to improve livelihood and foster social and economic development in rural areas through provision of access to electricity. Zanzibar Development Vision 2050, with the main goal of attaining upper middle-income country status by the year 2050 through sustainable and inclusive human development, details the need of power system independence and reliability through diversification of energy sources, especially on renewable energy. The World Bank is supporting the revolutionary government of Zanzibar to implement the Zanzibar Energy Sector Transformation and Access Project, in short, ZESTA, that address three key sector challenges, which includes the first one, sole reliance on limited submarine transmission capacity from the mainland, which will, without additional supply options, result in supply rationing and load shedding during the peak demand period. Second, inadequate distribution system capacity that is causing high technical losses and preventing reliable and efficient supply and the acceleration of electricity access scale-up. And last, the challenge of limited institutional capacity that is constraining operational efficiency and the required system modernization. Ladies and gentlemen, the completion of this project will expand access to reliable and efficient electricity service and the scale up of renewable energy generation through three major components. The first one, renewable energy and storage infrastructure development. This component will support development of Zanzibar's island first grid scale 18 megawatt solar power PV generation plant and battery storage infrastructure. Second component is grid modernization and access scale-up. This will include the construction of 132 kV high voltage transmission backbone infrastructure to meet the growing power demand, evacuate power from the solar PV, and improve power supply quality and reliability across Unguja. 3. Sector institutional strengthening and project implementation support. This component will support project implementation, sector institutional strengthening, and design and implementation of key planning strategy regulatory framework, including those on energy efficient and closing the gender gap in the energy sector. The growth of energy sector is expected to contribute and boost the economic growth, social service, as well as to attract investors to our country. Ladies and gentlemen, the great efforts have been taken by the Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar to ensure that Zanzibar has its own internal source of power generation, where solar deployment has increased by 6% between 2019 to 2020, with the aim of reaching 20% of penetration of renewable energy by the year 2030. Currently, the operating off-grid solar power generation plant is that found in Kokota and Injao with 80 kilowatt and 50 kilowatt capacity respectively, that supply more than 140 households in those isolates. Ladies and gentlemen, before wrapping up my remark, on the behalf of the Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar, let me thank you, the Alliance for Rural Electrification and Tanzania Renewable Energy Association, for organizing this important forum that encourage energy investment in our country. Moreover, allow me to officially invite you or to welcome you to the Zanzibar International Water Conference 2022, convened by Ministry of Water, Energy and Mineral in collaboration with SADC GMI, University of Dar es Salaam, Global Water Partnership, and UNESCO IHE. That conference will be held on 14th to 15th September in Zanzibar. I wish you a very fruitful and successful discussion, and I'm looking forward to the deliberation of this forum. Thank you very much. Asante.
Asante sana, Permanent Secretary, for the welcoming remarks. I think on behalf of the organizers, I would like to really thank the government, both from the union government and the government of Zanzibar,